For the fourth year in a row, something has killed the bottom feeders in the Salt Fork River: big catfish, carp, and buffalo. But unlike previous years, this time investigators from 3 state agencies have solid leads into what caused this latest fish kill.
The banks of the Salt Fork River are littered for the 3rd year in a row with the carcasses of dead fish, hundreds of buffalo, carp, and blue and flathead catfish. It's a fish kill that mirrors the last 3. The color of the Salt Fork changed from its usual muddy complexion to a tea color, and the big bottom feeders, just like before, began coming to the top. Like these flathead, we found still alive, but in the throes of succumbing. Their skin mottled and discolored, the fish are evidence that the kill was still active 3 days after it was first reported. But there are new elements to this fish kill. A trio of state agencies are working hand in hand, seeing a chance to actually determine who is responsible for putting something in the water that is killing the fish. Bill Wentroth is the fisheries supervisor of the North Central region for the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife. He says the critical part of the investigation is now being carried out in the laboratory of the Department of Environmental Quality.
Water samples have been collected and are in the process of being analyzed for heavy metals and other pollutants.
Investigators have little doubt what has caused this fish kill, and probably all the others.
High salinity levels have been found that possibly could be associated with kill along the area where oil field development is present. The salinity readings of 9,300 to 9,400 microsiemens per centimeter that DEQ collected from a couple of the sites, those are very high. Normal salinities associated with good fisheries and fresh water range from 150 to 500 microsiemens per centimeter.
Even for the Salt Fork, those are levels that lead investigators to some clear conclusions.
There are really no other areas where that high of salt could come into that river system than through oil field activities.
The kill appears to begin this time about 2.5 miles west of the Highway 156 bridge over the Salt Fork, just south of Ponca City, an area that borders the Big V Ranch, which is home to an oil field that dates back to the 1920s, an oil field that is now under heavy redevelopment.
One of the places that I took water samples was just right near a new well that they were drilling, probably not 200 yards from the stream bank of the Salt Fork.
In that oil field, there is at least one wastewater injection well. Trucks hauling the developed water from drilling operations could be clearly seen working the oil field. A pair of armed state police investigators from DEQ were part of the team that accompanied the DEQ field investigators who were collecting the key water samples. There is no doubt the Salt Fork is a salty river. But the water that soaked us on the airboat ride along 3 miles of the fish kill area also had a distinct metal taste that lingered for hours. This is the 3rd year Kay County Game Warden Spencer Grace was the first on the scene of the fish kill.
The only way that you have 40, 50-pound flatheads and big blue cats in the river now are simply because they're migrating in from the Arkansas River. These are fish that won't be replaced in our lifetime.
Warden Grace says because DEQ's investigators got on the scene quickly while fish were still dying, and because the beginning of the kill is so well defined, this time there may be answers for the questions of why, how, and who.
It's definitely more solvable this year than last year. Last year we had an entire dead river. This year it appears that we have, I'm just guessing off the top of my head, approximately 12 miles of dead river.
As in years past, investigators relied on Tim Glazer and his airboat to work their way upstream from the confluence of the Salt Fork and the Arkansas back to where the kill begins. Glazer and his friends have long enjoyed fishing the Salt Fork, but he says because of all the kills and what he sees as obvious dumping of pollutants into the water, there's few fish left in the Salt Fork, and he's not inclined to include them any longer on his menu.
We eat the fish. I trap the river to help income, and it's just an all everyday deal that we're on the river every weekend.
The Corporation Commission has also been down on the Salt Fork as evidence increasingly points toward an industry the Commission is charged with regulating.
In that 1.5 county area that is associated with this kill, right now there are 22,000 active oil wells.
Previously, the DEQ lab has struggled to define clear evidence from fish kill water samples on what exactly was added to the water that caused the die-off. As the lab works on yet another mysterious fish kill, it's possible the agency will again call in the EPA to leverage their federal resources.